All right, West Virginia fans, epic Valentine's Day win. I hope that you had your Valentine with you watching this game. It was an epic one. To talk about it with me tonight, I have my good friend Amit Batra. Amit, what a game.
Yeah, it was certainly an entertaining game. I thought they were dead in the water, to be honest, when they went down. I think it was 14, and yeah, they just made some timely plays, and I thought Jasper Floyd in particular was probably the MVP. Made some huge plays on both ends, and yeah, just a great quad one win, and I think it's going to give the team a big boost moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. You as you mentioned, quad one win. This was a resume builder for whoever was going to win this game, and luckily
Yeah.
it was the West Virginia Mountaineers tonight. So we'll talk about what the win means for West Virginia, how they got it done, and just have an overall good night. Anytime we win these games, it's exciting to do these shows. So I was super excited to send you the text after the game saying post game show, and you said that you were in. So I'm very excited about that. With that being said, let's get into it. So before we do, if you're a West Virginia fan, please remember to like and subscribe to JerseyEER. We really appreciate all the support. Also, check me out on the Crossroads Show at WVU Sports Chat. I'm going to be on there on Mondays talking some West Virginia sports. I think I'm going to do baseball coming up on Monday. I'm actually watching the West Virginia Georgia Southern game now, so it should be fun. Let's get into the show. So, let's talk about this first half. And I thought, coming into this one, I thought Ross Hodge, this is one of his best coaching games because the team was ready to play tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought he made some adjustments, and they came out better than they have been lately. And I thought they just play with a faster tempo. Like I think with UCF, they want to play fast, or kind of running gun, transition style. West Virginia is not that, obviously, but I thought they played faster in the half court, and you had to, right, because you had to score to kind of match up with this type of team.
Absolutely, and I think the long layoff benefited this team. That they didn't have the slow start and they went punch for punch. Amit, you and me talked about this chatting. It seemed like West Virginia, especially in the first half, played with a faster tempo tonight than they usually do.
Yeah, I mean, I think offensively they look much cleaner, much smoother. Obviously, I think they did some good things as far as getting guys involved. And I thought they just played faster. They weren't waiting for the shot clock to kind of go down like they do in some games. They kind of made an emphasis to get to the basket and get to the paint, and I thought it kind of worked out for them.
Yeah, and it says here strong half for Jasper Floyd, but I mean overall, I thought this was one of Jasper's best games, probably his best game he's had since being in the Big 12, since Big 12 conference play started.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think I think he was the MVP tonight. I think he made great plays on both ends. I think defensively guarding Folks and making kind of his life difficult, and then I think he's probably the top defensive guy on the team. I do, and then offensively, I mean he made some big time plays. I think he started off the game pretty well. And then that three in the corner when West Virginia was up one late, and then I think Belo made a great pass over to him, and he hit that three, and he made some big threes tonight for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And he's a Tampa, Florida native. So I think, anytime these guys from Florida come back and they play against their old team, I feel like they have a little bit more juice. We've seen that a lot in football, and I think that UCF game means more for those guys. And then Chance Moore also gave West Virginia a spark in that first half. He had a lot of points in the paint. He was getting rebounds, and he really made his presence known. And I thought he gave West Virginia a big spark in that first half.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think he kind of carried the load for a lot of that first half, and getting some stuff inside. I think he's probably one of the top guys as far as getting things going inside, and getting to the basket, getting to the rim, and kind of making life easier for West Virginia. So love his athleticism, love his energy, and I think he was huge in the first half.
We have a comment. Swabby G said, "Evening JerseyEER and all." Hey man, appreciate you. I know you're in here a lot, and he said, "Smash that thumbs up button for JerseyEER." Yeah, definitely do. I really appreciate that. Also, hit that subscribe button if you're new here and you haven't subscribed yet. We're trying to get the subscribers up so we can eventually get this thing monetized. So if you can hit that subscribe button, it'd really help me out as well. So thank you for the comments. We really appreciate it. Cold shooting half, though. We have to talk about that. It wasn't all pretty in this one. Another cold shooting half for West Virginia. They shot 1 for 12 from 3-point land. It was an 8% percentage. So you take a game percentage of 9% in the last game, then you look at the first half here, it was 8%. That was definitely a cause of concern going into halftime.
Yeah, 100%. It's kind of how do you follow up a 9% performance with 8% in the first half. But yeah, just kind of very cold from the perimeter. But I think the good thing is that they were getting stuff inside in the paint, which kind of helped them keep West Virginia in it. Because if they weren't scoring inside, it was going to be, I think, a long game.
Yeah, and then West Virginia, they really did some good things without rebounding UCF. They won the glass, right? They got 24-16 rebounds, so they won that battle. They had the edge in the paint going in at halftime, and then they only found themselves trailing by 1 point on the road to UCF. So, at the end of the half, it felt good. Amit, my question to you is, and I think we're having some internet problems too because you're a little glitchy tonight. How did you manage the 5 minutes that we missed the game? Because everyone was blacked out on Fox Sports 1. I listened to it on the Varsity app with Tony Caridi and Brad Howe. How did you pass the time when the Fox Sports 1 glitched out?
Yeah, well, first I was like, what's going on? Because I thought something was wrong with my TV. But I was like, is something wrong with my cable right now? Or is everybody else, having these issues? But yeah, I was on the Varsity Network listening to Tony Caridi. Anytime I have the opportunity to listen to him, I think he's one of the best in the business. So, I thought, I just listened to him. And then, of course, the BYU game goes into OT. So then you have to go to FS2 to kind of start off the game. It was like, man, just get this first half over with.
I feel like that's always a thing. It always says like 8:00 tip, and then it ends up getting pushed back. It's so funny. Whenever I listen to Tony Caridi, whether it's his podcast or I listen to the play-by-play, I'm like, man, that guy's voice is so good. I listen back to my shows, and I'm like, man, I wish my voice sounded like that. I'd probably have a different career if I had that guy's voice. So, they're awesome to listen to. So I didn't mind listening to the game for the 3 or 4 minutes on the Varsity app to kind of get through the time, but I was happy to see that Fox Sports 1 eventually figured it out. I'm going to give FS1 a pass here because their broadcast usually is pretty good. But I was a little annoyed when that was happening during the game. It allowed me to watch some West Virginia baseball. Speaking of that, West Virginia baseball right now, they're tied 2-2, top of the 7th. They have Gavin Kelly on second, and there's 2 outs in the top of the 7th. They had a big win today. It was 11-10. It was a game that came down to the wire. I mean, let's talk about the second half, and it wasn't easy in the second half. We talked, me and Amit, the last few weeks, there's been times where we've talked and we're like, all right, like, we're not angry at the team. We just, it is what it is. And we're just like, you know what? I said to Amit, I think this team's pretty average at this point. They can't beat teams in the top tier. It is what it is. We're bound for the crown or the NIT. And then Honor Huff hits a 4-point 3-point play. And all of a sudden we go on like a 20-5 run or something crazy. I mean, I can't even believe that we're talking about a win here.
Yeah, 100%. I thought 4-point play was huge at that time. I mean, to kind of cut it to single digits. I think that's what you needed to have happen. And obviously, it makes a difference when Honor is also making some plays, right? I mean, that's the biggest difference, right? I mean, you need him to score, and thankfully he got going. But yeah, there are times where West Virginia looks very, very average. I mean, I think anybody could say that, but then there's times where they come alive. And I mean, hey, look, you rather the latter, so they found a way. But I think going back to rebounding, I thought that was going to be huge tonight as well. I think UCF, if you look at the stats, I mean, they do a great job with offensive rebounding. So I think, rebounding was going to be pivotal in this game. So it was good that West Virginia had that edge.
Sweet Lou, Monaco said, Tony Caridi is awesome. That's your Sweet Lou's your boy, right, Amit?
I used to work with Lou. How you doing, Lou?
Yeah, Tony Caridi is awesome, man. His voice is just so soothing. I swear to God, like, I think when you're on a long car ride, listening to like 3 guys before the game is like the best. Like, I listen to it on the car. I always look forward to listening to those guys talk. It just always puts me in a good mood, win or loss. So yeah. Again, a lot of the notes you guys see, I do as I watch the game. So some negative stuff, the first 2 notes, right? Hardly any assists. I think with like 13 minutes to go, left in the game, we had like 1 assist at that point to like 13. But that Folks kid, man, let's talk about him from UCF. I think he averages 7 assists a game. I was very impressed with Folks from them.
Yeah, I think he's probably kind of their floor general and kind of the glue to their team. I mean, he does so many things. He scores, he facilitates. And I think, Jasper Floyd was playing some great defense on him as well. And I thought, that was going to be key, right? But he was still making some very difficult shots. So credit to him. But I thought Jasper in the late stages did a phenomenal job defensively on him and kind of limiting him.
That can't be unsaid enough. Jasper Floyd on both ends of the floor tonight was phenomenal. And like you said, that hit the defense that he was playing on him late in the game, and to not have a foul called on him, he got in your face. And that's why sometimes we get on Jasper Floyd and the fans do, but you also have to remember nights like this, he does show up for these games as well. Low production in the fast break. That was just, it is what it is. That's just the way they play offense. They're going to drain the clock. It's like the opposite of football. I was just thinking about this tonight. Football, they want to go, 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 and run as many plays as you can. In basketball, they want to win a dogfight. But I noticed this was the first time since like January 18th that we scored more than 70 points.
Yeah, I mean, hey, look, I think a big part of that was, obviously the way they were able to hit free throws. They got, 16 points from the foul line, 16 and 19. That's huge. I think they made a lot of improvements from the foul line tonight. And then also, they were obviously able to make a couple shots. So, I mean, that's probably, sometimes it's that simple, right? Getting the ball in the basket. And I think West Virginia did a better job at that tonight.
I've never seen a team live and die with a player as much as they do with Honor Huff. I mean, if Honor Huff doesn't wake up and start feeling it, we don't win this game. I mean, against Cincinnati, he did the same exact thing. He sparked the team. He had a 4-point play, and all of a sudden, you had a 10-point deficit turn into 6. You got a few stops. UCF got a little lazy with the ball, and all of a sudden, we battled back, and then you have the lead, and it's like, man, like when we got the lead in that game, it was the first time we led like all game, and there was like maybe 5 minutes left in that game. It was crazy. So yeah, Honor Huff, man, he got hot, and I think the other thing to think about with Huff is, and we talked about this a few times in the show, is I really like when Honor Huff goes to the basket too.
Yeah.
I really like when he gets his nose dirty, and he has that little floater that he can put up in the paint. I think that's also another part of his game that is improving, and it's helped the team.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't want him to be like a one-dimensional guy, right? Obviously, that he can shoot, but then when he's not, when the shots aren't falling, like for much of the first half, how else can you get the ball in the basket? And I thought, getting to the basket is huge. And I mean, there was some place where he was just kind of jetting past the defender and just getting a layups, right? So you need that to kind of have a balanced attack. And yeah, I thought he made some key plays, and then obviously he went 8 for 8 from the foul line, so that's big as well.
We had Drumwolf said, "What a comeback, Drumwolf! Happy Valentine's Day to you. Hopefully you enjoyed it with the West Virginia win." Eric Flowers, another longtime listener to the show. 4 players had 11 points each with 5 minutes left. Yeah, we haven't even shown the box score yet. We're going to show that after we get through the notes, but I can't wait to look at the box score because I think they did a lot of positive things. He said, Drumwolf said Floyd and Moore were great. Yeah, absolutely. They again, this is what we expected more of coming into the season, is more of a balanced approach from the team. Even though we talk about, it's like Huff was the spark that ignited the team, but you still don't get it done either without the contributions you got from the other players either.
Yeah, 100%. I thought it was, a balanced attack tonight. I think for me, the MVP was Jasper Floyd. Obviously, Honor Huff made some great plays, but I thought Jasper, just the way he affected the game on both ends, he would be my MVP. But then, I mean, Chance Moore below, did some great things as well. So I thought, tonight was a pretty balanced attack, and you need it. I mean, as we talked about, I think this team is the best when you have multiple guys contributing.
We have a comment here. We had 45 points with 10 minutes left and finished with 74 in a must-win game. Love to see it close out like that. I can't wait for the hype video. You know how they come out with the hype videos after they win, and like to see Hodge in the locker room. We gotta give Ross Hodge a lot of credit. I know it's not always looked great, but guys, this is our 7th Big 12 win of the year. The last time we made the tournament, that team only had 7 Big 12 wins. So this is a quad 1 win. This is the second biggest win of the season, probably behind that Kansas one. And he's held this team together, even though it hasn't looked great sometimes, with the way they play defense and the way he still has these guys buying in this late in the season. He deserves a lot of credit. And I'm definitely excited to see what the future holds for him, especially with how he's recruited. And there's still a lot of games to be played now. I mean, now, it's going to be interesting where Lazardi has us now, because before we were like the next up to be mentioned, and we even like gained ground after losing to Texas Tech. Now it's going to be really interesting. I think we could be like the first 4 out now. And we're definitely in that bubble talk now after this win, right, Amit?
Yeah, 100%. For one, you surpassed UCF in the Big 12 standings, right? And you're neck and neck with BYU, and you still have 3 quad 1 games left. You have a bunch of quad 2 opportunities as well, and then you have, I believe, just Utah as a quad 3. But there's still a lot of opportunities left, so I think it's going to be a very exciting finish. And yeah, I mean, this was a huge win to have. I think this was honestly a must. I mean, we say that every game it seems like, but it's crunch time now, and you just need to boost your resume. So yeah, huge win. And I think it's going to be very interesting to see kind of where they end up moving forward.
Drummel said exactly. It was a team effort. Absolutely, it was a complete team effort. I mean, you look at the contributions you got from Chance Moore, even Eagle staff. Making the free throws at the end of the game. Jasper Floyd was great tonight. It was a complete team effort. If this team is going to make the tournament, they're going to need more nights looking like this, where more guys are clicking on all cylinders. Swabby G said, we are tied for 6th in the conference with BYU. This is a dang good spot to be in and a good time to get hot right before March Madness. I love it. Yeah, it's exciting. It's definitely exciting for sure. Drummel said Texas Tech just beat Arizona, so tough week for them. So wow, that we were watching that game. And then West Virginia right now is up 3-2 in baseball. They have bases loaded. Ball 4, they're going to walk on a run. So cool there. Eric Flower says, feels awesome to be excited about WV Sports again. Everything is going in the right direction. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Everything is going in the right direction, and it's exciting. It's exciting to do these shows. I've been doing this since May 30th, and there's been some good times. There's been some bad times, but I know that, this show, if we get good, I think this show is really going to blow up too. If we get good and consistently win, because I think more people are going to be buying in. So it's exciting all around. Amit, John Bull, man, let's talk about him real quick on the other side. Yep. Dude, he was causing fits. I think he set a career high tonight with blocks. I think he had like 5 blocks in that game.
Yeah, obviously, 7'2" guy. I feel like UCF always has these big, big guys down there. I mean, Taco Fall back in the day, yeah. But yeah, I mean, Bull's a good player. Obviously, his size creates some trouble, but thankfully, I mean, I don't think anybody, particularly one player from UCF, really killed you tonight. So, West Virginia just, this was a great team win overall.
Massive, just clutchness. I think as we get through these notes, the clutch shots that were happening at the end of the game is why you watch this stuff. My one son was sleeping on the couch. My other one was curled up with his mom. And when Floyd hit the shot, I got kind of loud. And then when Huff made that shot over Bull, as the clock expired, I got real loud. And she's like, the babies are sleeping. I'm like, I don't care. I'm like, this is exciting stuff. Because I know what this game meant. It almost felt like a March Madness game to me. To me, this felt like a playoff game, because I knew if we lost, it was going to be pretty much over for the Mountaineers. And this one very much puts you in contention. It puts you on that conversation. And then the last thing I want to talk about, Amit. Actually, give me your thoughts on those shots real quick, and then we'll talk about the last thing.
Yeah, no, I think, we talked about kind of West Virginia figuring out how to close and, make big time plays towards the, final stages of the game. And, this game, I don't think they win a couple months ago. Right. So I think they've really matured. They've really evolved. And, we're talking about meaningful basketball in mid-February with the first year coach. So I think everybody should be excited, and I'm excited because, I agree with you. This is probably the difference between NIT and still having a chance at the dance with this win.
Swabby G said, "Hey, JerseyEER, you're not far away from that 1K sub mark, just around the corner." Hey, man, yeah, I that's the goal. I want to hit 1,000 subs, just because I get monetized at that point. It's a lot of work, and I love doing it, but it would be cool to get paid. And make, even if it's a little bit of money off this, it would be cool. So I've been grinding and trying to do that. to get as many subscribers as I can. It's definitely a grind, but I love doing it, and I'll continue to do it as long as people keep showing up and watching the show, which you guys have. So thank you for the support. I really appreciate it. Mr. John, shout out to you as well. You're always in here. Big win for West Virginia. Absolutely. That can't be stated enough, man. We're all excited. It was a great Valentine's Day. Everyone's happy. It's just that's another reason why I started the show, is to have a forum like this after wins and celebrate it with West Virginia fans from across the country. So it's definitely cool to do this. So thank you for the support, and yeah, hell yeah, man. It was a big win for West Virginia for sure. Amit, I think the key to the game, and I think this is the underrated key. West Virginia shot 84% from the free throw line. There was times where they were in one-on-one situations. They were making them. That means they got a chance to shoot again, obviously. It means we weren't having wasted possessions. I thought the free throws tonight were much improved. I'm going to guess they worked on that during this bye week that they had. Your thoughts on the free throws?
I mean, I've probably said it like 100 times. I think it's the biggest difference between winning and losing games, often, right? I mean, and, we've seen struggles in the past from like West Virginia teams with Huggins and, some of those teams at the foul line. So, yeah, I mean, you need to make free throws. And they went 16-19 tonight, which was obviously a big step in the right direction. So hope they can continue that trend. And I think a big part of it's, just continuing to work at it, right? So kudos to them tonight.
Raven said, not a pretty win, but we'll take it. Absolutely, Raven. I almost made the thumbnail, thanks for having us, because that's a great thanks for having us moment. But I don't want to steal anything from three guys before the game. But this is a definition of a thanks for having us moment for West Virginia. I mean, it was a great win. This is probably my favorite win of the season, even though we beat Kansas at home this year. I think because it's this late in the game and the epic comeback that happened, and how much it means and how much it keeps us alive this late into the season is exciting. So it was absolutely a huge win. Eric Flowers says, do a live watch along. That should get numbers up. Actually, I did one for the BYU game because it was late. My kids were sleeping and I was bored. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to react. And it was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I think if I do those, my wife wouldn't be too happy if I took 2 hours to do these shows. She's already on my case now because we have, for those who don't know, I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old upstairs, and my wife's pregnant right now with our third on our way coming in June. So I'm a very busy guy. So I fit these in when I can. But when the games are late, that's definitely a good idea. If when the games are late, the only issue if Amit watches it with me, we might be on like a little bit of a delay, and that would be hard. So I'd probably have to do that alone. Other comments coming in. What a second half. Yeah, absolutely. It was super exciting. Raven said you could hear the fans cheering "Let's go Mountaineers" towards the end of the game. Yeah, West Virginia, there's a huge amount of fans in the Orlando area. I vacation there a lot because Disney's down there. Whenever I'm there, I always rep my West Virginia stuff. Coop said BTA. he loves that. Coop just needs his own shirt that says "Your boy Coop" with BTA on the back. Default Joe says yo to you, and what a game. Absolutely. It's super exciting. Like I said, we're hyped about this one, man. We're super excited. It's crazy how the play of some 20-year-old kids can change your mood on a weekend, because if they would have lost this one, I wouldn't be this happy. Probably wouldn't have the smile on my face. Amit, you want to look at the box score real quick?
Yep.
So let's share the box score real quick if we can get it. And let's share it. Boom, 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 boom.
At least now we don't have a 6-day layover between the next one, right? I think Utah's Wednesday. I think Wednesday night. So
yeah,
Tuesday night. So don't have to wait six days.
Yeah. All right, here we go. So we have the box score here, and we'll look at it really quickly. Can you see the box score, Mitt?
Yep. Yeah, I got it.
All right. So we shot 43% to their 42%. We shot 26% from three, but you got to take that with a grain of salt because we shot 9% in the first half. So those numbers in the second half were definitely improved. We talked about the free throw percentage. We shot 84%. That's what you want to see moving forward. That was great. And we got to the line 19 times. Turnovers are pretty even. Points off turnovers is pretty even. We rebounded really well. We mentioned that, especially in the first half. So did good there. Bench points were about the same. Points in the paint, we did good. Which, it's crazy that we beat them in points in the paint because this team loves to score points in the paint for UCF. They're one of the best teams in the nation at scoring points in the paint.
Yeah, I thought we kind of beat them at their own game in certain categories. Like rebounding, they average 11 offensive rebounds per game. So, they crashed the glass, and I think West Virginia did a tremendous job on the glass tonight. So, and then like you said, the points in the paint. So, yeah, I think the Mountaineers won in some major categories here.
Yeah, then you look at again, just the stats, blocks. The Bull had 5 of his own, and then assists. Folks had his 7, so he averages 7. He got 7 there. And then if you look at West Virginia, like I said, look how balanced this attack was tonight. Lorient with 11 points, so he did a lot of good things down in the paint. That one play he had where he put it up, it kicked out, and he got the rebound and put it up as shot as the clock expired was crazy. Jasper Floyd had one of his best games in Big 12 play with 17. Honor Huff had 21, which is crazy if you look at the start that he actually had. Eagle Staff had 8, but almost was in double figures. But I think he played solid overall, especially I think the big thing with Eagle Staff was 4 for 4 from the free throw line. Obioha didn't do much tonight, but he had 5 rebounds, so we'll take it in the 22 minutes, and that's usually what he gives you as far as minutes. Jenkins did some good things early on. Thomas has been off for 2 straight games, going through some growing pains there, but I think he'll improve. Chance Moore had double figures, which was great for him. He's a guy that continues to give us quality minutes as that 6 man. And then Ugasak played 7 minutes, and he's been getting more time with Jackson Fields out. Default Joe said, "I wish that Fields played." Yeah, so they're trying to redshirt Fields, so we probably won't see Fields the rest of the season. Yeah. And that's the reason why, is because he's a senior right now, and they're trying to get a medical red shirt for him. So if we can get Fields to not play the rest of the season, we can have him back next year. So next year you'd have Jenkins, and you'd have DJ Thomas, and then you'd have Fields as a starting off point if you can retain all those players. Then you hit the transfer portal really hard. So that's why you're not seeing Fields plays, because they're looking to redshirt him. He said, share your thoughts on ball movement, passing tonight. I thought passing was good, but paint penetration at times was lacking. So I actually thought the 3-pointer that Jasper Floyd made at the end, the ball movement was great there. That's what we should see more often. I think the penetration game's getting better. I think Chance Moore can penetrate to the paint. I think Lorient can get there. I think Honor Huff was doing some good things there too. Amit, do you want to share your thoughts on that?
Yeah, as far as the passing, I mean, I thought, at times the ball movement was great. I thought, trying to find the open guy, the play with Below to Floyd for that corner 3 was tremendous. So I thought, they made a step in the right direction. As far as guys getting in the paint, I mean, I think the roster is kind of just what it is. I mean, I think, Honor Huff has the ability, of course, and then, Chance Moore and, Floyd and Below are kind of the guys that kind of do that on a kind of consistent basis. So, I thought they made some steps in the right direction, though, for sure tonight.
A lot of people are giving Jasper Floyd a love. Yeah, Floyd stepped up. He had a great game. That can't be unsaid enough. That's the point guard play that we need going forward. If we're going to make the NCAA tournament, Jasper Floyd's going to have nights like that. And as I mentioned, Jasper Floyd's a Tampa native. Tampa is only about an hour from the UCF campus. So, that game meant a lot to him. Probably had a lot of fans and a lot of friends and family at that game. So that might have been the reason why he had such a good game. We talked about that. Floyd definitely took over. Belo gave a spark. Yeah, Raven, me and Amit often say that Lorient Belo, he's like the glue guy of the team. He's a guy that he does the dirty work for West Virginia, and he's never going to have like a 30-point game or 40-point game, but he'll get us 15 points and he'll do a lot of good things. So he's one of the most important people on the field, on the court. Your boy Coop said Mountaineers never quit. Rich Rod, absolutely love it. Let's see, anything else that we have here. Jasper Floyd's going to be Coop's Valentine, so that's exciting. I'm sure Jasper's excited about that too. I'm sure he's excited about Coop giving him a shout out. Amit, as we close, I just want to get your quick thoughts on something real quick, and then we'll break off here. What were your thoughts on Jerome Tang this week? You know, he called his team out. He had like a 3-minute press conference and called his team out. And then today they took the names off the back of the jersey because he said that the name on the front of the jersey is more important. Your reaction to Jerome Tang and his philosophy of coaching the team right now during a struggling season?
Yeah, I think K-State, I mean, it's hard to believe that they just made, they made the Elite Eight, however long that was, a couple years ago. But, man, it feels like forever. And, I think it's just a matter of, they're just not winning, right? And we've seen a bunch of coaches this year being, kind of expressive. Wes Miller at Cincinnati and, Hurley at Arizona State. It's tough when you're not winning, right? And, you're just not happy with this, the level of play. So, I kind of, I'm sure I would agree with it if I was a K-State fan. So, but yeah, I think it's just a matter of frustration.
Graven said, I don't know why Forsyth isn't playing. Yeah, me either. He's a guy that can do a lot of things. I heard he's a really good shooter from what they say on the Country Roads Confidential podcast. But I think he's someone you'll see definitely next year. He said, yeah, that makes sense. Fields and Chris were high school teammates, was looking forward to the matchup. Yeah, but I think in the long run, though, it's good for West Virginia. If we can get Jackson Fields back next year as one of those pieces that we have back, it's less you have to get in the portal and it's something that's known. He said, this dang team about gave my grandpa a heart attack. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I was talking to my buddy who's a huge West Virginia fan. He's actually lives in West Virginia. He's a coal miner, and he's a young guy. He's my age. And I'm like, man, you wouldn't believe like how many, like my audience, when you look at the YouTube analytics of this show, Amit, most of the audience is older people. It's the people in their 50s and 60s that love the Mountaineers. And I hear that sentiment. I think the older population of the Mountaineer fans absolutely love their Mountaineers. They're more passionate than anybody. Anytime I'm on vacation, I wear a West Virginia hat. You'd be amazed at people that come up to me and want to talk Mountaineers and know their stuff. I mean, it's people's grandmas, and older people love the Mountaineers. So it's funny that you mentioned that because I feel like it just means more in that state, and people absolutely love that. Drumwolf said, don't forget to watch the baseball team. They're winning 4-2. So I'm actually watching it on my 65-inch TV right now. Drumwolf, my poor wife, it's Valentine's Day, and she had to watch 8 hours of West Virginia baseball and a 2-hour West Virginia basketball game. That's her Valentine's Day present. So, we're definitely watching it. They're up 4-2. It's the top of the 8th right now. 2 outs right now. West Virginia has a guy in first. So, any last comments before we put a bow on this one?
No, I just thought, it was a tremendous win. Obviously, gutsy comeback, down 14. Great win. And I think, the tournament hopes are still alive, which is very exciting. And I think, it's a Pod 1 win. So it's, obviously a resume booster. So, on to Utah now. I think, you have to take care of business there, of course, at home. And then there's a lot of opportunity remaining on the schedule. So a huge win, super pumped and keep this thing going.
Yeah, the Utah game, you can't have like a North Carolina. North Carolina beat Duke on last Saturday, and then ended up losing to Miami. Just
right.
The next game. You got to show up and play all of them. So that one should be fun. Looking forward to that Wednesday. Appreciate everyone that came in tonight. We had a lot of people in here tonight that were for commenting, liking. Again, if you know someone that's not subscribed yet, pass the show to them. Let them know about JerseyEER. We're definitely growing, so we want to get this thing up to as many subscribers as we can. So definitely pass it to your friends and family. With that being said, we'll talk to you guys next time on the JerseyEER Show.